Okay, so I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:02. This meeting is being recorded by the ad hoc committee for additional funding for the new fire station. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify the chairperson at this time. And I know Dawn Murray Morin is recording. It looks like she's in, so
Right,
I was told that she's going to be recording.
that's correct.
Okay, so next on the agenda, we have election of the chair. So since there's only three folks on the committee, it seems like if we have a nomination and a second, that feels like that's already a vote. Is there anyone who would really want to be chair or anyone who doesn't want to be chair?
I will say I'm new to the council and I'm not used to being a chair, so it might be a good learning opportunity, but I might need some guidance, right? So
I don't think that would disqualify you at all. I think if you wanted to do it, you've got two experienced counselors who'd be
Yes.
probably, speaking for them, happy to help.
Yep. Sure. Derek, we're both here. Go for it. Yes.
all right.
I agree.
Okay.
I think that would be very good. So
Yes.
yes, I vote for Councillor Healy,
I
the chair.
And I second that. I vote for him.
Great.
Oh,
All right, Chair Healy, take it away. I'm going to go off video, but I'm going to listen in.
Okay.
And then you start with the roll call.
Yeah. Thank you, President.
thank you.
All right. Have a great night, folks.
Good night. So the first item is roll call. So I guess we'll just go through a quick roll call.
Okay.
And we have Councillor Ricketts.
Yes. Present.
And I'm going through here, Councillor Forgy.
Yep, here. Thank you.
And I'm here, so that makes a quorum, right?
Yes,
Right.
correct.
I'm learning all these cool phrases, so.
That's fine.
All right. Approval of minutes, there are none. We didn't have a meeting last meeting. So we'll jump right to item number 5, which would be the discussion, right? And the purpose of this committee.
Yes.
And I think really what we're trying to achieve with this committee was to find a way to work with the fire station build to figure out, how we could find additional money to support the things that they might not be able to support with their original budget, right? So really, I think I have to do my due diligence and catch up on some of the previous fire station meetings and kind of see where they're at with the fire station committee. So that's on me. I promise I will do that over the weekend and get myself up to speed. So I think the big thing we probably need, and you guys might agree, is maybe a list of items that have been excluded from the budget because they didn't think they could fund them, right? That's the starting point. Once we have that list, I think we can identify the items and maybe have the fire station prioritize the items from 1 to whatever, saying, okay, this is our bucket list. This is how we want to see it done. If we can find a way to fund this, let's start there. Now, there are some options out there, and I talked to the police chief, and I've talked to a couple of other people that, have been in similar situations. And when it comes to raising money, it's funny on our end, right? Because we can't go ask voters for money, and we don't want to ask voters for more money. They're already paying taxes, right? But in doing some research, I was wondering if like the Firefighters Association or somebody that represents, fire departments could actually do a campaign. So that was something I figured we could look into, is seeing if we could have like a firefighter association do a campaign for the fire department, collecting donations. Back in the day, you used to see the firefighters with the boots on the side of the road, and you used to put a dollar and get a Tootsie Roll kind of thing. So I think we just need to identify, what the needs are and how we can find money and the appropriate way to fundraise money, right? Because we can't do it ourselves. Anybody have any comments on that?
Oh, I fully agree. I think if they let us know, not just like what was pulled out of the budget, but what they really want back in and do the priority, like you said, I think if they give us the dollar amounts, and if the Firefighters Association could put that out in a certain way, then maybe people can make pledges and stuff depending on what it is. And we could figure out, maybe some good marketing way to raise the money for each one of those things. Like, I don't know if there's anything that's there that can be named, or, just anything. I think once I see the list, I'll be able to help think of some better ideas. But, when they're up and running, I want them to have everything that they need.
Mhm.
And I like what Chief Strand said at a meeting last night, that he wants to do this without taking from all the other departments.
Mhm.
So we want to figure out the best way that everyone gets all their needs met in the city. We don't want anyone hurting at the end, because then we just have to flip and then go help them too.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so the fire station is important and it's a priority with me. It's equal to the police to me, and dispatch. I'm a big time public safety person. So, just give me the dollars, give me the specific material, and let's go from there.
Yeah, and with my construction company, I've done a lot of work with nonprofit companies and fundraising for them, right? And they've done things as engraved bricks that might go in the top 3 feet of the building, right? Where you could have a in memory of so and so, and it's $20 a brick, and they actually incorporate it into the construction. So there's opportunities there. I just think I need to better understand, first of all, the construction of the fire station, right? Because I haven't done my homework yet, which I plan on doing, I promise. But so I could kind of come up with some plans, and I think this meeting is really a starting point. And I don't really know, are we allowed to address? I see the chief's on. Are we allowed to address them in this meeting, or is that something that goes in public comments? Or?
Yeah, I was going to say, I would love to have the chief and Pete jump in and say things, because it'll make it easier for us, so we're just not talking in circles. They might be able to ground us a bit.
Yep.
So that is up. That's up to you as chair. You can ask for participation.
Mhm.
The other option is that you can invite people to further meetings that we have, and that gives them an opportunity to have time dedicated to what they want to say,
Sure.
and everything else, which I think works very well.
Oh.
I also wanted to say I'm really thrilled with this ad hoc committee, and I'm very glad that, Derek, that you've stepped up to the plate to
Mhm.
chair this,
Mhm.
because you do have that construction background. What the big, I don't want to say the word caution, but we don't want to be redundant. And we know we don't know what everything is going to look like when it comes in from bid. And so we really are looking at numbers that are guesstimates at this point.
Mhm.
Right.
But one of the things that I think is important about this committee is that we represent the council, and we stand ready to give our support when there might be a shortage. And I think that there will be opportunity for the building committee and the mayor and everybody else to come back to council. I do envision that happening in the future. The question is when. It may not be 2 months from now. It might be 6 months from now. We just don't know. But so my recommendation is that we've identified goals. We've talked about what we envision so far, and I probably will continue to do that. But I'd like to suggest that we carve out pieces of time for individuals to come to our meetings and talk to us about what they envision, as well as their needs.
Sure. And I think that's a great idea, right? So I think what I'll do is, before our next meeting, I'll follow up, and I'll send the chief an email of a couple questions that we just asked, right? What are the things being cut? And give him some time to think about it, respond, and identify his wish list that he might not see, right? And then from there, we could review it as a group. And then we could talk about, estimated dollar values and figure out how much money we might have to come up with. And then from there, internally, we could figure out what the best step is, right?
Right. And Derek, Councilor Healy, I'd also like to say is that you don't need my permission, but I'm giving it anyway, that you can go and meet with Chief and Pete McIver at any time on behalf of this group.
Mhm.
And, if you just want to get a one-on-one and speak to them and bring information back, it doesn't have to be the three of us in the same room at all times. So
Okay.
you want to like kind of do that.
Sure.
I mean, going back and watching meetings is, I'm not going to say is the most exciting part of your life. It will not be. So
Yep.
I'm thinking a coffee might be better or whatever, do it whatever way you want to do. But yeah, but I feel like meeting with them would be
Sure.
good. Me being on this committee is the most important thing is to show that the city council is behind our public safety departments
Absolutely.
100%. And that's what I'm here for.
Absolutely. And I agree 100%. I did fairly early on after I was elected, I did make visits around, and actually I think the chief was on vacation that week. And I saw the police chief and I met with Marla Warner and I kind of introduced myself because I want everybody to know who I am, right?
Right.
And I want them to know I'm there to support them, right? The police station, the fire station, DPW, the schools, they're an important part of the community, and it's important to me, right? I have kids that live here. So it's all these projects are no brainers. It's just, obviously we have to be financially responsible too, because we owe it to the taxpaying citizens, who already pay a pretty burdensome tax rate in Greenfield, right? So, and that was the other thing with the economic development, trying to link it all together, right? So, I could talk all night because I'm really good at that, but I think I kind of know what we need to do next. And I think what I'll do is I'll put the list together. I'll set a day up, meet with the chief, and maybe I believe Councilor Jarvis is on that committee as well.
Yes.
I'll grab a coffee. I could get up to speed on the plans and what their dreams are. I could dive into them. And being a builder, when you're doing prevailing wage, it's a little tough, right? Money goes a lot faster, but I am familiar with prevailing wage rates and how to look at those numbers. And architects tend to be a little heavy in some areas and light in some other areas. So I think it's going to be a good opportunity to help these guys out, and that's what we're all here for.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. And thank you for saying that. And thank you for recognizing Councilor Jarvis plays a piece in this, because I know we have this ad hoc and we do have Councilor Jarvis. And I just feel like let's keep the conversation with all the folks that are tied into the fire department already, like in these ways. And so there's no surprises or last minute questioning or anything like that, it all comes from a good place. We want to move everyone forward, but we want to, be careful. Nobody be put on the spot or anything. We just want to get the best information and figure it out. So thank you. And just knowing that you want to already wrap this meeting up and meet with people and, get good footing, we picked the right person.
Well, yeah, I'm very persistent at everything I do. So if I become annoying, people just have to tell me.
They will. Don't worry.
I have broad shoulders. I'm used to it, right? So go ahead, Councilor.
Thank you. So I would request that we go ahead and we invite to our next meeting, which is scheduled for April 6th at 6 p.m., that we invite the fire chief. I mean, I don't know how many people we want to speak to that evening, but, invite the fire chief. I think David Singer should be a candidate to come along and speak with us. I also think that Peter McIver would be a good person to speak with us. So whether we want to invite them all at once or if we want to spread it out, I really would like to see the chief. Number one, I'd like to see the chief at our next meeting, and everything else is up to you.
I agree 100%. And so I think what I'll do is I'll send the emails out. I'm going to meet with the chief first, and then from there I can send the email out to everybody and let them know who's going to be attending that meeting. I think it will add a little bit of substance if we have multiple people on one call. Otherwise, this meeting is going to be like 15 minutes every night, and then we're going to feel like we're not getting anything accomplished, right? So I think if we have, max 3 people per meeting, that will give us enough substance to make it worth the 1 hour of our night. And then from there, we keep reconvening. And then hopefully we have a solution by the time we're done here, right?
Right. Excellent. That's great.
Right.
And don't also, just because you're a new chair, we also have the ability of having Tammy reach out and extend invitations to department heads as well. So it's not the chair's burden to make the ask. Tammy can do that on behalf of the committee, just so you know. So again, no redundancy.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to need a little grooming here.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
My feet are
you know,
barely wet, you know?
yeah. And if you have lots of questions too, like I said, picking up the phone and just meeting with one of them, or maybe picking up the phone and just talking to them, because I mean, you see our council email, just imagine what they get too. So sending out tons of emails all the time, at the end of the day, it really isn't as helpful as people think. So maybe just have some one-on-one conversations, and then the email means more because you've already like made that connection.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chief.
I just wanted to say thank you to the whole committee. The fact that as contentious as this project has been for the last decade, that we have a group that has come together to try to come up with a solution. From the bottom of my heart and on behalf of all our firefighters, we thank you for the effort that's being put forward. Looking forward to go through this process with you folks. We'll meet whenever you want to meet. You come to the firehouse. We'll show you the firehouse. We'll take a walk on the property, the new property, and show you where we're at. I just wanted to say thank you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I guess since I kind of just opened up to public comment, if there's anybody else in the meeting that would like to say something, please do. Okay, silence means nobody else wants to say anything, so we can move on to the next step, which would be new business. We kind of went through the new business. That was the items we just identified. All business, we don't have any because this is the first meeting. So I guess the next step would be our next meeting is Wednesday, April 6th, 2022 at 6 p.m. This one is the City Hall meeting room, second floor, or WebEx if required.
Okay.
And
I can do either, so I'll just let me know. Yep.
yeah, I'll check my schedule for the week, but I think it would be nice to start meeting in person again. But and then after that, it's just adjournment. So if nobody else has any questions or comments, I'm gonna vote to adjourn the meeting. I think that's how I do that.
Yep.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you so much, everybody. I really look forward to working with y'all.
Hang on, one more second.
Sure.
Okay. You should take a vote, motion to adjourn. All of us are in favor. And then you state the time as you sign off. You say this meeting's complete or finished at 6:20 p.m.
Okay. This meeting is finished at 6:20 p.m.